The Golden State Warriors just got breaking news on a Jonathan Kuminga return after the All-Star break. That's what we're discussing on today's edition of Warriors Today. Let's get into it.
Welcome back to FAMESHOW Host. Today, our excitement is through the roof as we bring you the latest and most electrifying update from the NBA world. Specifically, some breaking news on Golden State Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga. Grab your snacks, settle in, and get ready for a deep dive into every twist and turn of Kuminga's injury update, his potential return, and what this could mean for the Warriors as they charge into the final stretch of the season. That's right. After a long hiatus since January 4th, when Kuminga sprained his right ankle against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Warriors have now released a brand new update that has every fan buzzing with anticipation. Today, we're going to break down every detail, from his injury history and current progress to the insider intel on his possible game return and how the coaching staff might integrate him back into the lineup. Let's start at the beginning. Jonathan Kuminga suffered a nasty sprain to his right ankle on January 4th in a game against the Memphis Grizzlies. This injury sidelined him for a whopping 21 games, and since then, he's been under constant evaluation by the medical team at Golden State. Right. And here's where it gets interesting. After the All-Star break, the Warriors finally provided an official update. According to team practice reports at Chase Center, Kuminga has returned to practice for the first time since his injury. Now, while this is a huge step forward, his actual return to game action isn't set in stone just yet. The coaching staff is taking a day-to-day approach, ensuring that he's 100% ready before he steps back on the court. Now, let's talk schedule. The Warriors have a demanding lineup of games ahead, and every game is critical for their push in the season. While the update has fans hopeful, it seems unlikely that Kuminga will be back immediately for every matchup. For instance, the upcoming Friday night game against the Sacramento Kings probably won't feature him just yet. Exactly. Instead, the focus might be on a tune-up game. A home game against the Charlotte Hornets is being eyed as a potential opportunity for Kuminga to ease back into the rotation. The idea here is that the Warriors could use a less high-stakes matchup to test his readiness. It's a smart move to gradually ramp up his minutes and intensity. Before his injury, Kuminga was on a tear. The numbers and the highlight reels speak for themselves. He was playing some of the best basketball of his career, showing off explosive athleticism and even upping his rebounding numbers. Not to mention his shooting efficiency from beyond the arc had noticeably improved. Absolutely. Fans were treated to a player who could not only create jaw-dropping plays, but also contribute consistently on both ends of the floor. His athleticism made him a human highlight reel, and that's something the Warriors cherish deeply. When he was healthy, his aggressive play style injected a much-needed spark into the lineup. Now let's dive into one of the most intriguing aspects of this update, the role Kuminga will play when he finally returns. There's been a lot of discussion about how best to reintegrate him into the Warriors lineup, especially considering the spacing issues that could arise if he's paired with players like Jimmy Butler. That's right. The Warriors have a lot of talent on the floor, and their offensive strategy revolves around creating space for shooters like Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Adding Kuminga into the mix means the coaching staff has to carefully consider his role. Should he come in as a starter or be saved as a dynamic super sub off the bench? Let's shift gears now and talk about the broader picture, the Warriors' overall strategy and the tough schedule they face. With high-stakes games coming up and a rigorous road trip ahead, every win is crucial for their playoff hopes. That's right. The Warriors aren't just playing any games. They're facing some of the league's toughest opponents in the final stretch. Every matchup is a battle, and having a full-strength lineup is essential. Kuminga's return, when timed perfectly, could be the extra boost that turns a close game into a win. It's also important to note that this isn't just about one player. It's about how the entire team gels together. The chemistry between players like Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and Steph Curry is already off the charts. Their seamless coordination and shared competitive spirit have been a major factor in the team's success so far. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to talk about the recent roster moves that have added more depth to the Warriors. In order to meet league requirements and to bolster their bench, Golden State has signed 2 additional players, Kevin Knox and Yuri Collins. Kevin Knox has been making waves in the G League with some impressive numbers, averaging big points and rebounds in Santa Cruz. Meanwhile, Yuri Collins, though not a name many were expecting, rounds out the roster and provides additional versatility for the team. These signings are all about depth and readiness as the season's pressure ramps up. These roster additions may not steal the spotlight like Kuminga or Curry, but every player counts in a season where each game is a battle. With Knox and Collins coming in, the Warriors are better positioned to handle the inevitable fatigue and injuries that come with a marathon season. It's a smart move that shows the organization is leaving no stone unturned. Let's now dive a bit deeper and analyze what all these updates mean for fans. Warriors supporters have been anxiously awaiting news on Kuminga, and each piece of information stokes both hope and debate. Social media is buzzing with predictions. Some fans are downright ecstatic about his return, while others are cautiously optimistic. Absolutely. And it's not just about the stats. There's a huge emotional investment here. Fans remember the highlight plays, the jaw-dropping dunks, and those clutch moments that only Kuminga can deliver. His injury left a void that many felt was impacting the team's overall energy and momentum. And now, with him back in practice, fans are speculating about potential lineups. Could we see him come off the bench to inject some fresh energy? Or might the coaching staff even consider starting him in certain matchups if he shows explosive readiness? The debate is on, and every new update adds fuel to the fire. As we near the end of our show, let's quickly recap what we've discussed today. First, we learned that Jonathan Kuminga is on the road to recovery after a significant ankle injury that kept him off the court for 21 games. His return to practice is a promising sign, but his actual game return will depend on continued progress and careful evaluation. We also talked about the potential timeline for his return. While he might not be suited for the high-stakes games immediately, like the upcoming match against the Sacramento Kings, there's hope for a return during a tune-up game against the Charlotte Hornets. His pre-injury performance showed us that when he's on his game, he's a force to be reckoned with. Exactly, and we've seen how the Warriors are preparing by considering a strategic small ball lineup that could best utilize Kuminga's explosive energy without disrupting team spacing, especially with a player like Jimmy Butler on the floor. This careful integration is crucial for maintaining the team's overall effectiveness. That wraps up today's deep dive into the latest on Jonathan Kuminga and the Golden State Warriors' strategies moving forward. We hope you enjoyed this in-depth breakdown and are as excited as we are for what lies ahead. Remember, every update is a step closer to seeing Kuminga back in full action, and every game is an opportunity for the Warriors to showcase their championship pedigree. The road ahead is challenging, but with the talent and determination on display, the future looks incredibly bright. Thank you for joining us on FAMESHOW Host. Please like and subscribe for the latest entertainment and celebrity news.